And one of the things I really liked is like you can actually work on multiple projects at the time. So I was building all these five different products, websites, right? I was rebuilding the websites that was abandoned in the past, and I was just going to one thread and then just typing something and like requesting some change, checking out the website. Okay, change this, add a contact page.
Hi, my name is Demetri Panici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Aytekin Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the AI Agents Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Claude Code, because it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I had these websites that I built like very long time ago. So I've been busy and I abandoned them. Like these were like side projects for me, and I haven't been like they were broken at this point. Like they had old versions of, for example, PHP, and like because of security bugs, it was disabled, things like that. And then I decided to give Claude Code a go, and then like I was like hooked. Like it was so easy, and I built these like five sites. I rebuilt them, and I made them so much better. And all I did was like vibe coding. Like I didn't even look at the code at all. And I was able to easily deploy them on Versal. I was able to like easily publish them on their own domain names using Versal, and it was all free. For Versal part, I was also impressed by that. Very easy and um, easy to do. And I was doing like so much stuff that like I was like building and building and building, and suddenly, even though I'm on the max plan on Cloud said, "Okay, you're done." You are out of for today. You are done. Like you used us too much. You are like until tomorrow morning. You're done. And I said okay. And after that point, I had to like stop because I was actually sick, and like I was instead of resting, like I was just vibe point five for 5 hours. Like I was so excited about it, and I actually studied computer science. I know how to code, but I haven't been coding like for the last 10 years. Like just and because it's just it's hard to get back to, like even if you know how to code, if you stop for a while, it's like sports or something. Like you lose your edge, and then I never find like a large amounts of time to actually work on it. And I was so excited, and that's why I said, yeah, let's do an episode about Cloud Code. And at the same time, right, the same thing happened to you. Tell us about your.
Yeah, no, I've been using it a lot. It's addicting. It's very addicting. It's cool. I've never been a developer, but I have been using it for the last week to develop stuff. Um, it's incredible. I started my journey a couple weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago, trying it out as I was using OpenClaw, because OpenClaw has the great ability to have automated work and stuff. But the problem is, it's not the builder that I think I'd like it to be. So I had to build up the infrastructure of my OpenClaw setup. And it's funny enough, I remember Anthropic got rid of the token thing, like they got rid of the OAuth connection to OpenClaw and other tools like it. But Claude Code was available, and I said, wait a second, isn't my OpenClaw mission control and all that stuff just a repository? It just a something that's being coded. And I've said, so if it's on my computer locally, can I tell my Claude Code to edit it? And I did. And that's the solution. You like just backdoor it through like, oh, well, I'm using the subscription, but I'm not doing it through OpenClaw. I'm doing it on OpenClaw, which is like so stupid that like that's allowed. But anyways, I started doing that. And then I said, oh, I had this ads thing I'm doing. I hate the dashboards that exist. I'm going to get this API to connect, all this data. Can I make the data through this API work nicer? And then I went, shit, let me try to code something with Claude Code. And the next thing you know, I had that. So I was building a couple things at once. And then I also have all these projects I tried with Lovable, in which case I realized, shit, I could actually, because it's connected to GitHub, I could connect all of these and use it. And I started in the app itself, and then I moved over to the terminal, which we're going to show you in this video, how easy it is to actually use the terminal. And it even has Vercel access and that kind of stuff too. So it's very simple. It's very cool. I'm very excited to show you guys, but long story short, Claude Code's crazy, and I think both of us have realized, not actually that late, considering the fact that most people are behind on it, but pretty late.
Categories, things like that. And then I send those instructions. Okay, I'm done with that. And the Claude Code is working. The agent is working for me. And then I go to the next tab. And on the next tab, okay, I'm actually building another website, right? I'm just asking it to do something else. And it's just, by the time I go back to the first one, right, it's already done. So I'm basically giving feedback. And, at Jotform, like the way we work is like, basically that's what I do. I give feedback. Like I meet with product teams and I tell, and then we do a review, for example, we do like a 15-minute or 20-minute review. And I will say, okay, let's open it on mobile to see how it works in mobile. And I will try to use it. I will probably put my screen on the TV and then try to use it on mobile. And then we discuss how we should improve it. And then and then I give them feedback. And then the next week when we meet, they usually complete those stuff. And then we talk about something else. And this is kind of like the exact same way you can work with Claude Code. Basically, it's kind of like you have this team of developers, designers who are ready to work for you. All you have to do is like you have to know what you want to ask from them, like what you need. I think what's really becoming important now is like in the past, what the bottleneck has always been the technology, like or like the people who built the technology, right? You had to have the engineers who can build a great product for you. But today, I think it's just like if you use Cloud Code, the bottleneck is the ideas. The bottleneck is the taste. Like how to make a great product, how to make a great website. Like what you really need to provide to other people, so you can actually focus on the value you provide, and instead of like how to do the details are handled for you. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm not really worried about, oh, okay, developers losing jobs. I think developers are just becoming like 10 times more valuable, because now they are able to like build because everybody will start building so many products that you're gonna need some more like technological edge, and you will grow, and then you will still need developers help. But the developers are not going to be writing code. I was just listening to like the person who built the Cloud Code, Boris. The first last name doesn't come to me right now, but he was talking on a podcast, and he hasn't actually write a single line of code since November. That's like 3 months. And they built so many editions and so many new products. They just released the mobile version of the Cloud Code yesterday. And just, it's incredible that like they are not writing code anymore at like Cloud, because their product is so good. And I didn't actually believe that until like I really experienced it myself. So I feel like this is an incredible moment in time, and most people not aware of this power they can have. Like you can't be anybody. Like you don't have to know anything. You don't have to know how to code. You don't have to. You just say, okay, I just want a website and about this, and then it's just gonna build it for you. It's like magic. Incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. It is incredible. It is that simple. So just to kind of kick things off, let's show an example that you got going on, and the website you built about our podcast.
So I built a website for us. This is the website I built. Basically, I didn't write a single line of code. It's all wipe coded, and I cannot get rid of this window. It's in front of me. Okay. So basically, I built this website, and basically my prompt was go to our YouTube channel and build a website for us. Okay, it built this website, and it was missing some stuff, so I prompted like okay, use the pictures on them and create like a page where you can actually have the summary of the episode and the like transcript of the episode. And then I asked it to like find better pictures for us, so it actually researched pictures and found them for us. I asked it to categorize our podcast into different categories, like classify them into different categories. And it created all these like AI in healthcare, AI for sales and marketing, all these um, different categories. And in each category, you can actually see the episodes, and then you can watch them, or you can just open their website, open them in like on a page, and like the categories actually have like a breadcrumbs, ask breadcrumbs for them as well. So basically you can go to the main category page, and I want to make an addition right now. Let me, instead of sharing that screen, I'm going to just share the whole entire screen. So okay, let's go to Claude Code. Cloud here. So okay, basically Claude Code. How do you find Claude Code? Basically, you install Claude on your computer, the app, and then you can easily use like it has like chat, cowork, and code tabs, and you basically click on the code. And we reviewed the cowork before. It's also incredible. But you can probably do everything you do with cowork with Cloud Code. And the reason they actually released cowork was actually people were actually doing other things other than like building stuff. They were actually like doing stuff, and that's why they built that cowork stuff. Um, so yeah, so one of the things I do is I will actually just say open a new session. This is a great way to like work in parallel. And then like here, you can actually say, you can actually select the plan mode. And basically, I like to start with plan mode because I'm usually working on multiple things. And when you're working on multiple different things, right? You wanna like finish something before you start on something, because if you're changing the same page, you might have conflicts, right? So what you want to do is like I'm usually working on a plan, and I'm also and then asking it to do that plan. So for example, in this one, I'm gonna ask it to um, add, add a contact page um, to the podcast website, and use a Jotform form. So, and one of the things you can do is you can actually like connect to other things. I already connected this to Jotform, so it already knows my account and it can use my account. But even if you don't connect it, it will be able to do this. Just use the MCP of Jotform, and it's gonna work. So let's see what it comes up with. So it's I love these like different things. It's honking, tinkering, different things. Um, I will start by exploring current code base to understand the structure of patterns. So because I started a new thread, it's just looking at the code base to see what is there. And basically, it's going to provide a plan for me. And then it's just going to, when I say, okay, go ahead and execute this, it's going to execute that plan. So, especially like with Opus, it's kind of slow. You can probably like, if you want to go fast, and if you are sure like what you're going to request is like very simple, you can probably use hierarchy. Sonnet is not that faster. It's faster than Opus, definitely. uh and then it's going to be much faster, definitely. But usually like the speed is not that big of a problem, because you are asking for it to do something and it's just working on it, and then basically you're working on other stuff when it's doing that. And I prefer for it to do it the right way as opposed to do it quickly, and then I have to ask it to fix stuff. So that's why I prefer to use Opus. Okay, so one of the things that it does when you ask for it to do a plan is actually it's going to start asking you questions, right? So basically, I already found a contact form, like, or feedback form. Do you want me to use one of them? No, I actually want to create a new form. So it already looked at my Jotform account and it found some forms, but I want to create a new form. So it asks, like, should I put it on a separate page or should I put it on home page? Yes, let's create a contact page. So now it's gonna basically, it's probably working on the questions. Got it. I will create new Jotform form to build a separate contact page. Okay, so it looks like it's, it knows what to do. Okay, we can go ahead and okay, go ahead. I will just say go ahead, and basically, it's gonna go ahead and build
Nice.
the form now. So a pro class plan. Let's go. It's going to use Jotform's MCP to create form, and it's going to create a contact page, and it's going to update the index page to add a contact link, and it's going to edit all these files on my computer. That looks good. Perfect plan. Let's go. So I would say it's just so much more powerful than Lowell because it's like it says like it's running on your computer. It says things like, okay, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and install this software so that I can actually use it. So it just has so much more power than something working on your browser. So it's now going ahead. It's creating a contact form, and then so it created a form. I will create a contact page and update the main navigation simultaneously. Okay. So it's creating a folder, and then it asked me like, I think it's just asking too much. Like sometimes I feel like it's asking too much, but compared to like Claude, OpenClaw is like crazy. It's just going and doing stuff like crazy, and Claude Code is much more like safe and like just it behaves more cautiously. And I think it's a good thing because like when you're starting out, you want to go fast, like because you're prototyping, you are trying stuff, you don't want to like waste stuff like even to create a folder to give permission. But once you have like a website with real maybe customers, if you have like a business, right, you want to be more careful.
I
All right.
agree. I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as you can see, by the way, the interesting thing about how it works is that you're showing how it has to-dos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It works through a real clear plan. And what I really like is how obviously on this user interface it showcases that because it makes it clear and obvious, like, hey, we
Oh,
are working.
did you see that?
Hmm? Yeah,
Boss. Did you see that verb?
yeah, discombobulating.
Discombobulated. Yeah.
All right, so look at
Okay.
this. So we got a new form. Let's check it out.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Looks like it's ready. The form is ready here, and pages are created, and open contact on your browser to review it. Okay, let's go and take a look at this. Let's go to the home page and see if the contact link is added here. It doesn't look like it's added. So maybe I have to ask it to kind of like push it, make it
I think
live.
you made it. I think you made it, but it's not. So it says
Yeah,
in
I
both the
think
desktop
it
and
made it
mobile.
locally.
It
So
says the menu. It says the
mhm,
menu, but yeah, I don't think it was pushed to Vercel. So it's probably
yeah,
in your local host version,
I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, as you can see,
which
it's
is very,
doing.
by the way, which guys is very nice because if you have it on localhost and Vercel at the same time, you can actually see what it would be and then push it to the environment that's public. But you don't have to. You do it in phases, right? You don't. You just have it like do everything automatically without pushing things. So it's actually very nice.
Yeah, it got it. So I can refresh the page now. See if a contact link is added. Looks like, okay, it's added to the navigation, top navigation. Let's go and take a look. Contact us, have feedback. Oh, the first thing I think I want to change is it doesn't match with the websites.
Yeah, it needs to be dark theme.
Make the background of the form dark. Let's ask first this. Okay. And then we can ask it to, it actually looks really good. I'll update the Jotform iframe URL. I think that's a good idea. It should edit. Okay, editing the form. Okay, it says I will upgrade the background dark, but also set the form's background. So it's doing that. It used Jotform's MCP to do that. I think it has already completed. Let's take a look. All right. Yeah, that's better. That looks better. Yeah, looks great. Get in touch, AI Just podcast. I feel like there are like two titles here, right? Right. We can probably fix that. Right. Maybe it should embed. Instead of embedding it like this, it should just embed this form. But I'm gonna continue to play with it. So, but the basic idea is like you can also connect and integrate with other products and use those products.
MCP.
Right.
Big deal.
It's using Jotform's MCP, definitely. And
it's really easy in the app to connect them. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can use here, you can do, manage connectors, right? You can go and, right? I can give permissions to different permissions. Maybe I would only want to give read-only permissions. Like if, let's say I want to connect it with Gmail or something, and it has like details permissions as well. I know that you're going to talk about skills, but yeah. So this is like basically we just updated the page with vibe coding. We didn't even look at the code, and it's also saving on GitHub. I don't know. Push the code to GitHub. So
I love how simple it is. You just literally tell it to do stuff.
Yeah. And actually, right, basically allow Claude, right, allow once, basically it's gonna do Git. So why would you, like, if you're vibe coding and if everything is in your computer and if you're just pushing the Versal, why would you need and GitHub? I think it's really great because like if you, let's say you lost your computer, right? You lost your hard drive and then you bought a new hard drive, or you are in some other place, like you don't have your laptop, you're working on some other computer. Like you can just, all you have to do is like you just say, pull the code from GitHub and then you connect to GitHub and it gets code and you can just continue where you are left. Like it's a backup, but it's also while it's actually all these different things. Like when I'm working on them, they're actually working on the same code base. So sometimes you want to work on like a different branch. I'm not going to go into like too many things, but basically it's a good idea. And I want to show like, I'm not looking at the code, but like the GitHub, basically I just created a side project GitHub for myself, I think inside. And then basically I created this project here. And one of the reasons was like, I asked it, okay, we have this podcast page, right? It's listing all the episodes and the latest episodes here. What's going to happen when we publish a new episode, right? What I asked it to do is like, okay, I said, okay, every day check for new episodes and then update the site and put the latest update date at the bottom. And it did that. Like the latest update date is February 26th, today's date. And basically how it did was it actually used GitHub's actions feature. It's all free. Everything is free here.
That's insane.
Like other than the existing the max account I had with And
Claude,
you
yeah.
can also use Claude's free account, and it's going to be enough. Unless like you are like vibe coding whole day every day, you it's probably going to be enough if you're just doing a single website. And basically it used these actions, workflows, update episode daily. It created this scheduled update for me, so it's updating every day, and it's just going to YouTube and checking things. And this update script was also handled by the live coding, um, and yeah, it's great.
That's incredible. That's incredible. You back in the day when, we were in the land of pre vibe coding, you had to do actual work on making things that were automated, put together. And now you can just be like, give it automatic ability to find daily episodes. It's wild. So let me pull up some of what I'm doing. I have a couple more examples. I'm not going to flex too hard on you, but I do think they are pretty cool. So I have all these instances of terminals right here, and I think they're really, really, really cool. They're awesome. They have all these different opportunities to work on many things at once. So as Aytekin mentioned, he had like all those different instances, um, right? We had
Yeah.
a bunch of different like chat sessions essentially. And you can do the same exact thing. What's crazy, by the way, is I set up this thing called an SSH access to my other Mac Mini. So I'm actually using two different Claude plans. I'm using my Jerry, my OpenClaw, the Claude account, and I'm using my personal Claude account in this both times. So it's crazy because these terminals have two things open at once. But I built two different really cool things with this, okay? And I want to show you in real time how non-hard it is to actually use it. So all I have to do is open up a new instance of Claude Code, and I'm on my terminal here, and I just have to type. And this is something that you can do only specifically on, well, you can do this thing on Claude Code on the app itself. So if I do Claude dangerously skip permissions, this is
You
something that allows you to code faster
you
if
love
you
to live
want.
dangerously, man.
I love to live dangerously. But if I do slash model, and by the way, all that does is gives me the option to, if I have a plan I'd like, it'll run through it. Because most of the time people will make a plan and then they'll just let it go, or they'd like to do that, but they end up having to press yes over and over again in Claude Code. And if you're just going to press yes and over again, you might as well do this, because all it is like you're going to just be pressing, as you can see right here on this terminal, I'm just pressing Shift Tab and it's switching between plan mode, bypass permissions, right? So I only use this when the plan is made. But as you can see, we have a model here, and there's a couple different models. So we have defaults, which is Opus 4.6. Then we have Opus 4.6 with 1 million context, so it has extra context. And then there's the ability to adjust the effort. And you can see there's low, medium, and high effort, right? So I'm not going to get into the model right now. I was actually using Sonnet, which I was, because for what I'm using, it's actually fine. But Sonnet is a really good option. So essentially, what you do is the exact same thing as you do in the app itself. It's just you're chatting with something that looks a little bit more stupid, to be honest. So right now, as you can see, my projects are running. I have a couple of different ones that just ran, and I'm getting questions just like Aytekin was getting. So I'm going to show you these two different projects that I worked on. One is an ad. All right. One is an ads dashboard. Cut out that last couple seconds, editor. One is an ads dashboard where I have some examples of some dummy data here. And I even made a dashboard system that has the ability to analyze the different metrics and chat with it, right? Because right now there's not really a good AI enhanced like Google ads or LinkedIn ads or organic content dashboard. So I'm like, I'm just gonna make it. I'm like, why not? Because most people have to use the Claude Code or Claude Cowork with some MCPs to get information out of it. And I was like, why don't I just build something that has the ability to analyze the data? That'd be great.
You just built
So
a SaaS product. How long did it
mhm,
take to build this product?
honestly, I would say 3 days,
Hmm.
because I had the idea last Thursday, and I only really have worked on it for like 2 days. After
Mhm.
that one Thursday, I started the build. The 3 days of coding, which is insane.
Yeah.
So this goes over Google Ads, LinkedIn Ads, YouTube Organic, LinkedIn Organic. It goes through all of these different, and it has filtering. It has the ability to change the date. It has all of these. It has the ability to filter with Google and LinkedIn and goals. It has so many different things. And I did this in parallel. And by the way, as you can see, this is just showing with a local host, right? So it's not actually showing the uh, it's not a Vercel deployment yet, which will be the case soon, right? It's changing the data. It's got an AI analysis, etc.
It's
I
keeping
also
data someplace, right? Do you have like a database?
I'm using that's what I'm going to show you with plugins real quick. So if I go here to my terminal, I can type /plugins. And by the way, as you can see, this guy's still working, and this guy just finished a 21-minute session, which is, it says right here how long it takes. I like how long it tells me it's working, which is really convenient. So I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller, running out of space here.
So you basically have like uh like 8 agents working for you right now. Like if they're all working right now, you have like 8 agents working and doing different things for you. One of them is like going there and working for 21 minutes on something, and there were, so like you have to constantly check them, right? And then if they're finished, ask them to do something else. And I think that's
Exactly.
why
And
they Cloud Code just released this feature called like agent teams. So basically you can also have this manager, supervisor agent. That's also like when they're finished, like one of the agents that can give additional like work to them, so you don't even have to do this, like if the
yeah,
supervisor.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the plugins though right here on the bottom one. I'm just gonna highlight the bottom one real quick. So if I go to /plugin, you'll see that there's plugins, and I'm gonna go to the ones that are installed. So plugins are one thing, and then skills are another thing. So the plugins that I have installed are front end design, GitHub. There's an MCP you can add to it, which I have to still give access to. There's Supabase MCP. And then there's a superpower plugin that's a skill repository. There's a Vercel plugin. And then there's a bunch of other ones that I have to give access to, like Figma, Firecrawl, Gmail, Google Calendar, Grain. All these things are different things that I use. So this is all the different like MCPs I have. As you can see, it's marked MCP or it's marked as plugin. And plugin a lot of time is really cool because if I go to here, I'll see what's available to be discovered. I can just type and look for them here, or you can find specific ones. Like the superpowers one I added was one that was just from a YouTube video, and people are making great ones all the time. So I would definitely look into them. So let's take a look at, if I exit out, an example of how I work in here. So as I mentioned, we have the ads dashboard, and with the superpowers, let me just scroll up to this guy that finished working. So what did I do here? I'm going to scroll up to my last prompt. As you can see, it really did a lot of work. Did a lot of work. So let me find the prompt. It's obviously a little bit more difficult visually to see it, but essentially what I put here is that I want to add more functionality, and I used a couple of different skills. I have /superpowers, and as you can see, there's brainstorm, write plan, and execute plan. So what is this? This is essentially, if I put plan mode on and have write plan, it's like a souped up version. So a better version of Claude's plan mode. And then it is a better version of executing the plan mode. So it'll essentially create a document for me that then it turns into something that I can execute. So if I take a look at this, it has a bunch of ideas for how to improve
Mm-hmm.
my paid ads thing that I'm making. That is like, oh, there's no meta ads, there's no Facebook ads, there's no keyword research
Did
fetch.
you ask it to come up with new ideas?
I
What was the
did. So
prompt that you used?
I said, hey, can you use the / brainstorm
Okay, I see.
to come up with more ideas for the paid ads dashboard? Make sure to also use the / writing plan skill to make the best plan. And there's a front end design skill. That's why mine looks nice. Front end design skill to make sure it looks great. Thanks. So I literally just said that. And what it did was it made a bunch of suggestions for me. So then I'm going to basically answer which of them is my favorite suggestion. So it's asking, what's the primary use case for this dashboard? It's an internal tool for your agency, a SaaS product you're looking for. So it's a bit of both. A internal tool for my agency and a SaaS product. And let me scroll up real quick and take a look at things. I don't really want to add more paid ads platforms at the moment, FYI. So I'm going to let it cook on this. So what I can show you too is because I have this running for another thing. This is my OpenClaw mission control. And a lot of us are OpenClaw nerds are making this thing called
Mhm.
mission control. So I managed to have it synced with my Todoist directly. So my team's getting assigned tasks, etc., which is really cool. But it took a lot of work to get here. I have all of its outputs of different spec sheets and docs here, so that all of the cron jobs load here and all the different things that it's building and outputting. It's saved in storage. Um, this is essentially going to become, I think, the hub for everything that I'm doing, right? We're going to have real content, a real content calendar, everything from here. But there's some bugs that are here. Like, for example, this guy was all the way to the right. So what I did was I literally typed, hey, can you move this from the right to the center? And it
Mhm.
updated it just like you would with anything else. Um, and the last thing that I worked on was essentially improving the content calendar, basically making it not only have a board, but a calendar view, right?
Mhm.
And then a table view. This was coded, Aytekin, with a prompt, like I just said last night. I
Mhm.
just like went to bed and I woke up and that's where it was at. So right now it's saying
You
like,
are
which of
you
these
are not
areas is
live
most.
coding. You are actually sleep coding.
I'm sleep coding. Yeah, it's elite. It's elite. So
Okay.
if I go to reporting and client deliverables, scheduled email reports, white level PDFs, deeper analytics. So what's more important to me? I would say number one is nice, but mainly the onboarding flow, the role-based access, invite teammates. And then also the reporting would be nice for just a visual text area that is nicely made, but can be exported to PDFs and have storage for those reports by section and overall. And then it's like guided setup tour. A guided setup wizard would be good, but I'm not sure what that'd look like. And I gave it multiple prompts, and essentially when it's done thinking about everything, since it's using the / writing plan skill, it's going to give me the plan. And then at the end, all I have to do is, as you can see, there's a execute plan skill. So when I tell it like, take this MD file that it's going to make and execute the plan, what's going to happen? It's going to do the thing, right? It's going to execute the plan, which is pretty incredible. Like right now, as you can see, it has a bunch of tasks that it just did. So let's take a look at this. So build passes with 0 errors. Here's a summary of everything that's completed. Task 1, I added my API key, which is great. So my AI analysis actually works now. I copied all 12 knowledge MD files from somebody made a really nice ad skill, right? like a adds creative, a adds this and adds that. So I said, okay, can you make me these different skills? Can you transfer it to this bot that I have on this ads analysis platform? And it's like, yeah, for sure. Because the problem was I'm not going to go into my damn Claude code and give reports to these people. I just want to give reports based off of an AI that automatically updates from it. So since it has the API data, it can do that itself. It added an audit feature, an analyze creative feature, an analyze competitor feature, a generate keyword seed feature, a upgraded API route, a creative intelligence page, a competitor intelligence page, an AI keyword generation endpoint, clean stale seed data that was in there for keywords, expanded the ads knowledge. It did all of this. It did all of this,
Hmm.
Aytekin, while we were on the call
Wow.
in the last 10 minutes.
How long did it take?
It took like, it said
It's,
there, I think it cooked for
okay.
13 minutes.
Minutes. Yeah. Wow.
13 minutes. So we have run creative analysis. So
And now
unauthorized, I
your
have to work
podcast
on it.
coding, vibe coding, sleep coding, and now podcast coding.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So can you please make a slash writing plan, a plan to actually finish this? What I mean is, can you make it so that the stuff is actually wired up, right? If I have to tell it to be wired up.
Do you have
Because
a
it's
microphone icon in your keyboard? Do you use an external keyboard?
I have an external keyboard. Are you asking me about audio coding?
Yeah, you can actually write, like, even when you're writing prompts. I sometimes do that. I will just
Well, I don't have that, but there
click
is
on
this
that
tool I use
microphone
called Willow. There's this tool I
icon.
use called Willow, which makes it
Oh,
really easy. So if I go on Willow,
yeah.
I can just press a keybind and it makes it a lot easier. I agree with you. This is actually this is one of the biggest hacks I've ever sorry. This is one of the biggest cut that out. This is one of the this is one of the biggest hacks like of all time. And it's so nerdy and it's so great, but I can just be like, yeah, basically the issue is that right now I have a lot of stuff that I'm not quite sure how wired up it is to actual data, and I just want to make sure for anything new you build, right, the creative intelligence especially, um, that it properly is working. And I want to make sure that the creative intelligence and that kind of stuff also has the slash ads creative skill in there, so it could actually write skill for or write ads for LinkedIn and Google and whatnot. And that would be really helpful. And it needs to know all the parameters of the different lengths of how long ads are and what ads are. And I just want you to plan all that out for me using slash writing plans. And make sure you factor in the front end with slash front end design and help me with this.
Hmm.
Right. And that was like 40 lines, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so
Oh, okay.
it doesn't show you in the immediate, but
Hmm.
as you notice, I can even say the slash commands that it'll work with this really
Yeah,
nice tool that,
that's good.
so yeah. As you can see in real time, I've added the bare bonesness of the competitor intelligence, right? And what I would say is like what I like to do in parallel is there are things you can make new pages that don't break, right? You can make new pages that don't break and stuff in parallel. I would never recommend in any circumstance unless I was positive to do it. But you can edit things in parallel on the same product. You just have to make sure that it has nothing that's connected with anything from a data standpoint. And if you don't really know what that means, pretend like it's a website, or the website's like it's got static information in different areas. If you're not touching a component that's going to break other components, you can edit two things at the same time. But just if you're touching the same data set, do not. Just don't. Right? That's my recommendation. Just don't. So I'm an expert in regards to data and where it's at. So I know if I make an adjustment to something, whether it's going to break anything. So just please, for the love of God, keep everything updated on GitHub so that you never
Mhm.
break anything. And then also
GitHub
don't
can
edit things in
also
parallel
help
unless you're
you with
positive.
those kind of conflicts. When you try to merge the code, if they're actually touching each other, like if you edited the same things on the same file that conflicts with each other, it's gonna actually show you like which
GitHub,
one
yeah.
you want to choose, things like that in the code. So that's another reason to use GitHub. It helps you backup, it helps you prevent conflicts, and just like merge the code easily when you're actually working on it on different places. Just to give you an example, like in Jotform, right, we have these product teams, and usually in product teams there are multiple developers, and sometimes they're actually working on the same files. So basically what they are doing is like they're constantly committing their changes to GitHub, and then they're constantly pulling the updates from GitHub. So that means like they're constantly syncing their files with each other while working side by side. They might actually edit the same thing, and when they do that, GitHub actually shows you, okay, there's a conflict. Like which change do you want to keep, which change do you want to remove, and then that way you can fix those kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's going to break your product, those kind of things. But I mean, the cloud is handling everything. It's just it handles everything, so I'm sure it can also fix those kind of conflicts as well.
So we nerded out about this for a while, right? And I just kind of want to close things out by asking you, where do you think this leaves us in the long term, right? What is the kind of what do you think is the long term outlook for you and how it's going to help you work? Because obviously you built a bunch of cool websites, but I do have to call out there's a lot of people making skills on Cowork. There's a lot of people making skills on OpenClaw. And there's a lot of people making skills on Claude Code, all of which can actually be routed to Claude Code, which, as you've noticed, is a tool that can actually do stuff for a significant period of time. Like a lot of the tools, whether it be, and this is why I don't like using the interface anymore. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I use the interface, it ends up really causing a lot of like, oh, it crashed, or oh, there's too much context, whatever. Claude Code never has that problem. It just is always churning. So I think it's a hack, and I think people should use it over Cowork the second that they get comfortable with it. That's my hot take. For simple tasks, though, they recently did release a recurring, like automated Claude Cowork skills thing to try to compete with OpenClaw. My thought is basically for me, I'm going to try to see how much I can use OpenClaw for the recurring day-to-day task stuff and build it all out using Claude Code and build out things using Claude Code constantly. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Before we finish up, I wanted to mention this article. Anthropic's Cloud Code is having its ChatGPT moment, and that's exactly how I felt. Like the first time you spoke to ChatGPT, the first time I was like, uh, doing a ChatGPT voice conversation in front of my parents and showing them, like, they were asking questions and ChatGPT was answering. This is the exact moment for Cloud Code. Something big happened. I think this is huge. Like this is like next level. Like we just had moved to a next level, and this next level is like it's working. We have something that's working. If you can build an internal product for yourself, you can build a website, you can build a product for others, or like whatever work you do right now, right, you can actually turn that into an internal, just like what you did. You can turn that into like an internal product, and basically you can improve the way you work. This is ultimate automation, and that's why we had to cover Cloud Code, because it changed things. So I think this is a great post to read. We're going to share it with the episode notes. I just wanted to mention we finish it up, but yeah, I mean, this basically changes a lot of things, because it's like um like the features here right now. The feature, we are now living in the future, which is so much different than, I think this just happened in the last couple of months. So in compared to 2025, now we are in 2020. 2026 is a different year, and we are living in a different like times right now, and whatever you are spending your time with, then I think you should consider that whatever you are doing, okay, I'm just gonna go and use Claude Code, or maybe even OpenClaw. Similarly, has the same kind of like AGI feeling to it, and then you have this ultimate automation to do whatever you do in a much easier way, save time, and save your brain for the important stuff, and then the automation, the AI handles everything for you, and then you can actually automate the work you do, and it's crazy, it's insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that kind of leaves us. It's been a longer episode. Not that that's a bad thing, just because we just got so into it. So I really appreciate everyone for making the time to watch this episode. And make sure you try out Claude Code. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know what your thoughts are and what cool things are you building and what tools are you starting to put together for us. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening and watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.